Did you find Kubernetes, or was it brought into your attention by like a vendor or someone else on your team? Like, how did it come into the picture in the first place?
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't mind me bringing him up. But at the time, the Air Force had hired a chief software officer for the first time, which was like a new, and not a technology officer, not a CIO. Like those things are pretty normal. But they hired a chief software officer, and his name was Nick Shalon. And he kind of was gathering up programs, doing very software intensive things, and trying to standardize the conversation. Really, is how I would describe it. Right? There was a lot of us struggling because we didn't have the tools or knowledge or lexicon or relationships. And I think, he did a great job of bringing like-minded people together across disparate, US based locations and say, hey, let's at least work together and form kind of a small tribe to talk, like in a way, our own kind of self-formed community. So Kubernetes was thrown at me from him, and I had no idea what it was. I wouldn't say I was tasked to figure it out necessarily either, but it was more like we were trying to build an architecture or reference design at that time of like, what does secure look like for defense and how can industry participate? And so I would say I was part of the machine that was trying to figure that out.
Do you know, like, if the fact that it was open source was a reason why it got thrown at you, or more that there was a recognition that is a widely adopted platform, and that was more of the argument towards starting to look into it?
Yeah, I think looking back on it, I would say it's kind of those things kind of go hand in hand in a lot of ways, right? One, like it's kind of where the technology ecosystem was moving to at that time, right? Out of VMs and monoliths into containers and microservices and orchestration. So like from a pure like going back to computer engineering, like it just for widely distributed large workloads, it just makes sense from a software perspective. But two, like there is a thriving community behind it. And I think one of the things you'll hear in the government space a lot, and they don't do a great job at it, in my opinion, sometimes, is they want dual use technologies, meaning, and what they really mean by that is they want somebody else, they don't want to build things bespoke because it's expensive and they don't want to be a bad steward of taxpayer dollars, right? Like everybody is well intentioned. So they want industry and government to be investing in the same thing so that we can share the cost. Because like money, we do print money in this country, but we don't want to print money, right? Like all of us have a vested interest in not printing money to a degree. And so I say that because I think part of it was like, yeah, there's a huge thriving community. The biggest companies in the world have invested in this technology. It would be silly for the government to be like, no, I'm going to go over here in the corner and like reinvent this wheel that everybody else has decided to adopt. So I think they really become coupled when you make that decision.